I hope I am clear here. Anyway, I was on TikTok and I came across a very interesting page. The lady in question, she's a lawyer, she's a mother of twins. The video that went viral, the one that got to me, was the one that she was advocating for formulas, pacifiers, early weaning, and mixed feeding. All these things that we actually advocate against as dietitian and as healthcare workers. So in this particular video, we are going to talk about some of the common myths that I've come across myself on these social media platforms that actually women believe or buy into. It's very easy for a woman with her profile because she's a lawyer. She's also a mom of two and she has all this glam and glamour or the aesthetics that the Instagram or the social media loves, and this means that it's going to get to more women than we might actually want. So that is why I'm doing this video, so that we can try as much as we can to mitigate or dilute the misinformation that we have surrounding breastfeeding. Remember that if you're struggling with either breastfeeding, complementary feeding, weaning, your baby has allergies, eczema, intolerances, or any gut discomfort, I have a coaching program for moms that goes for 5,000 Kenyan shillings. We individualize your care. The 3 months in the coaching session is to ensure that we are there and we change whatever that we will need to change so that we transit effectively and we reduce the reoccurrences of the condition that we'll be talking about. If it's breastfeeding, by the time we are done, you have actually gotten the hack of it, you enjoy it, and you're able to produce enough, you're even able to maybe store enough. Make sure that you sign up, and I want to take at least 50 women. I have good nutritionists, good dietitians who will actually help me if the number is overwhelming, so do not worry. So I will leave my number so that you can sign up and we talk about how we're going to help you as a mom. Now back to misinformations about breastfeeding. The first one that I want to talk about is that most modern women actually believe that formula is just as good as breast milk. I know it's very funny with the current rise of accessibility to information. We are having women now believing the opposite of what the statistics or what the research says. I agree that they have tried to mimic breast milk, but it is impossible. They don't have the live enzymes, they don't have the active compounds, the combinations that God created in the mammary glands that make us actually produce quality and quantity. So let no one lie to you that it is just as good as breast milk. No, breast milk is superior. It has been shown to be superior, and babies who are actually fed on breast milk have better immunity, have better cognitive, have better nutrition and health status. And then the second thing that I have come across, actually it's today, is that now I have to give water to my baby because she's just breastfeeding. Why am I not allowed to give her water? More than 85% of breast milk is water. That means whether it's hot, whether it's cold, humid or dry, your baby is going to get enough water or enough hydration from the breast milk if you continue with breastfeeding on demand. If you're pump feeding, it's also okay when your baby gives you cues that they are hungry, like yawning. I talked about some of the cues that you need to look out for to understand whether it's time for you to feed your baby in this particular video, and I will also link the breastfeeding playlist at the description box so that you can have a look after this to see what you might actually get from that playlist as well. Breast milk alone is sufficient. I know it's not easy for us to agree, but it is sufficient. New moms, it's okay for you to breastfeed your baby. Just make sure you yourself you are hydrated, because now you're drinking for two, you're nourishing for yourself, for your repair, to ensure that your body is producing enough, to ensure that your body is healing well, to ensure that your breast milk has the quantity, nutrition to actually serve the baby effectively. The other myth that I've actually come across is that women with small titties cannot exclusively breastfeed. Unfortunately, with misinformation and insecurities, I don't have insecurity that much, but I wish my boobs were bigger, y'all. But I have breastfed, and I breastfed exclusively for 6 months. Yeah, it's not about the size of the boob, it's about the willingness, the support. Someone will tell me, oh Mumina, but me, I'm willing. Are you trying? to implement the things that we have talked about in this particular video to ensure that you are supporting your body to produce breast milk. Are you sleeping well? Managing your stressors? Are you drinking enough? Are you resting? I think I will do a video on latching next, so make sure that you stick around so that we talk about some of the barriers of breastfeeding and how to overcome them, where first-time moms or new moms struggle with latching the babies, and this will definitely interfere with breastfeeding. So yes, if you have small teeth, you can still breastfeed and even continue breastfeeding for up to 2 years. It's possible. I did it. You can do it. And my friends, even those with small teeth, I've seen them do it. Some have smaller than mine, so you can imagine, and they have exclusively breastfed their baby, so it's possible. And then the other myth, this one actually had it on Saturday. I was in a birthday party and someone was talking about how pacifiers are a game changer when it comes to soothing the baby, to relaxing the baby, and to making your life easy as a new mom. And she was actually telling a woman who was actually expectant, and from how she was actually explaining it and the fact that she has 2 babies, I'm telling you, that woman is about to buy a lot of pacifiers. Anyway, let's talk about pacifiers and whether we should be doing them or not. Anything that mimics the breast, we actually discourage for infants. Even when you're pumping, you are encouraged to actually use a spoon and a cup to ensure that the baby understands the difference between breastfeeding and that one, especially if you plan to continue with breastfeeding, because the baby, again, with the interference and the confusion, they can decide not to breastfeed, and you don't want the baby to stop breastfeeding. Now, if you decide to buy pacifiers, because there are women who are still going to watch this video and they're still going to buy and invest in pacifiers, please invest in a good brand that does not remove those to plastic to things in the baby's mouth. That's the first thing. Then make sure that it's not going to harm their gums, because pacifiers messes with your baby's dental formula. You'll start having, like, now these upper gums and the lower gums, they've gone up, they've separated because of the baby always having that pacifier around their mouth. If you introduce them before the baby actually gets the routine, or we've established a breastfeeding routine, they will replace breastfeeding and the baby will start now being soothed to sleep by pacifiers, and this will actually compromise on their nutrition, and you'll start having issues with weight loss, malnutrition, and you'll start thinking that your breast milk is not enough, but in reality you're the one who's compromising the flow and the production of breast milk, because if your baby reduces the frequency of feeding, the amounts will definitely go down. I know it's hard, sometimes you're tired, you just want to put that thing on the mouth and go ahead and do your other things, but take your time with your baby. It's also good for their emotional and their mental and psychosocial development. Try talk to them. It's really a very interesting phase. It passes by very, very easily. Another myth that I've actually come across is that you need to wean early. That is basically between 4 to 6 months. By weaning, I mean you need to stop feeding your baby if you want them to eat. This is a very bad information, and unfortunately it's getting to a lot of moms because I have come across it. I have come across a woman telling me that, Mtanu, I was encouraged by my mother, by my grandmother, or even my aunt to actually stop breastfeeding so that this baby can feed. Let's talk about what I said when I started. Breast milk is the preferred feed for your baby for the first 6 months, exclusively. And then it's still the preferred feed at least for the next 24 hours. That's why we call it complementary feeding, because you're going to complement breast milk with other foods. Are we together? Like, the other foods are not the main feeds. It's still breast milk. Of course, the quantities of other foods and the frequency of breastfeeding reduces as you increase the other foods, and the baby's uptake and hunger and nutritional needs actually increase. You're definitely going to increase the other solids, and that is very much recommended, but you continue with breastfeeding. Someone will tell you if they start eating, they sleep better. That's a fact, because solids might stay in the stomach longer, but let's continue breastfeeding regardless. I don't know if I am clear on that. We don't wean until we are at least 18 months. If you have to struggle, let's work with 1 year. And we're going to talk about breastfeeding in the context of HIV, because I have been doing a lot of reading on HIV. Another myth, I also felt like I related to this myth a lot, is that breastfeeding and parenthood actually ruins your social life and your body. Now, there are those physical changes that come with being a mom that might never go away. The stretch marks, the boobs sagging, Do boobs really sag because of breastfeeding or motherhood? No, they sag because of age and poor care and such. Let's not blame breastfeeding, because if we did, some of us would have flat boobs, because as I said, our boobs are tiny. I breastfed for 20 months. So, and by the way, by the time she was stopping, it's just because I had to go somewhere for 1 week, and when I came back, she had totally given up. So that is why she stopped breastfeeding, not because I stopped it. We need to be clear on that. And it's not because I am on camera. No, that's the truth. You can't get overweight if you don't take care of your nutrition. And that is one of the things that I talk about in my coaching program. If you want to lose weight and still maintain effective breastfeeding, we talk about that, because I was comfortable and I was able to effectively go back to my pre-pregnancy body within the first 4 months. But again, I was also working. By the time I was 6 weeks, I was already moving, and I'm a nutritionist, so my diet was better. So I think that helped a lot. I also give you very effective, realistic plans, and we go over the plans over and over again. And I also have supplements for breastfeeding moms, like collagen, protein shakes, multivitamins, to ensure that we are supporting your nutrition, to take care of your body, to avoid having all these changes that come with childbirth, like back aches, knee problems, small injury, hair losses, skin breakouts and such. And if you're in my coaching program, you'll definitely get them at a discount. And another myth that I have come across is that if a baby cries after feeding, that means that the baby did not get enough milk. There are so many reasons why babies cry. That is the only way that they know how to communicate. So if they are sleepy, they will cry. If they have a wet diaper, they will cry. If they are uncomfortable, if the clothes is too tight, they will cry. If they are sweating, they will cry. There are those feeding cues, like now you'll see them yawning, you'll see them starting to move their mouth, they'll start looking for breast. If you're holding them, they'll start continue to try and look for the breast. They don't want to leave it, or they are just trying so much to show you that they want to breastfeed. You will see. And with time, as a new mom, I promise you, you will learn to differentiate the cries and to differentiate the cues. So a baby does not always cry because they are hungry. And of course, another myth is that what worked for me will work for you. No. As a nutritionist and as a dietitian, I've highly emphasized on the importance of personalized care, because as I told you, we have different exposures. The same thing applies to your gut functionality. There is no one with the same gut microbiome composition as yours. So it is very important to personalize our care, because I know if I didn't sleep well, I don't do physical exercise, maybe I cannot have milk, maybe I cannot have wheat, all these small indifferences that we talk about. So sometimes a mom's plan might not work for you, and it's okay. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like me to actually physically bring a breastfeeding mom. I hope one of my friends will actually agree to come and we demonstrate how to latch effectively, or you just wait until I decide to give birth to my other babies. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay subscribed and sign up to my coaching program, and let's work on taking care of our babies and ourselves. And until then, make sure that you check out this playlist next, where I talk about how to overcome different challenges of breastfeeding, and let's meet there. So until next time, stay subscribed. Bye.